Everybody, my name is Brant. I'm a professional snorkeler. I'm gonna give you a few tips to get you started. The first and only tip is equipment. You want some really good equipment. So here's my flipper. Usually I only use one flipper, but today I'll be doing two for the recreational diver. Notice it's a recreational. Okay, Trek US Divers. That's the only brand you can get. If you don't get that brand, you're a total idiot. Basically, that's the only tip. So tip number 2, you need a well area to dive in. Like this, we're here at the Wisconsin River in Nakusa, Wisconsin, I think. So it needs to be completely clear so you can see all the way to the bottom. As you see here, like right offshore, you can see the sand. Like, yeah, it has to be nice and clear. Like, so like when you go to the eye doctor and then they give you that little test, like they'll have like, I think like a letter and like a whole bunch of letters. Another tip is when you dive to the bottom of the ocean with your snorkel, you're gonna need to equalize a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but like, so what happens is there's not as much water pressure on top. So think of it like this. So someone starts pouring concrete on top of you. If someone starts pouring concrete on top of you in the beginning, it's not gonna be as bad because there's not as much pressure like squishing you. But once they get like, once you're like 10 feet under the concrete, you might start to like hurt a little bit. That's why I always use a snorkel. So once you're down to the bottom of the ocean, you just go like this, go as hard as you can. It's gonna hurt really bad, but you have to blow as hard as you can, then your eardrums will explode, and then you'll have as much pressure as you need so you can go down as deep as you want. The only negative to this is you'll be deaf, but you gotta do it for the grind of snorkeling. Never forget, dive alone, okay? Especially when you're doing those sketchy ones like under caves. You don't want anyone else finding what you see. What you find is what you keep. Finders keepers. You ever heard that phrase? I have. My mom taught that one to me. Anyways, so you dive to the bottom, you're all alone. No one else is gonna know you found that or where you found it. That's why you do it. So tip number 1 is, when you're snorkeling, breathe through a mouthpiece. Like, the faster you breathe, the better it is for you. If you breathe nice like that, it's not very good for you. You want to make sure your glasses are always clear. Like this, it's like otherwise you can't see all and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, really, you just need to be a really good diver. So here's tip number 17. When you're diving, make sure not to